Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be covering 5 mistakes that are preventing you from getting a job as a software engineer in the UK. Mistake number 1. You're too scared to apply. You probably feel like you're not ready. You probably feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you don't fit the job description, or you're scared of getting rejected. If you really think about these things, they're things that you can either resolve or that you shouldn't really be worrying about in the first place. Firstly, if you don't feel like you're ready, well, you should still apply anyway, because very few companies actually answer very quickly. So all you have to do is use that buffer time between actually applying and getting invited to an interview or a coding challenge to prepare yourself. Coming back to the fact that you don't feel like you're good enough. Interviewing, you're going to have to interview multiple times, and each and every single time you should be taking note. You should be thinking, what could I have done better? And as long as you do that, by the time the next interview comes around, you're definitely going to outperform yourself. However, if you're not doing the initial application, the initial few interviews, then you're never actually going to improve. As for feeling like you don't fit the job description, a lot of companies are going to tell you that you need to know Docker, Java, Hibernate, and a bunch of other technologies, but what you really need to know is just your core CSS, Java, HTML, JavaScript, and then have a brief understanding of the other technologies. You should also have a good knowledge of algorithms and data structures. Now, I don't mean go on LeetCode and bang out all the questions. I simply mean be able to manipulate arrays, be able to do the basic things with these. I'm going to be posting a different video later on about what the core things, like taking out all of the extra bits that would actually get you a job, just simply the core things that you actually need to put your foot in the door. Next up is mistake number 2. Your CV doesn't market you correctly. Your CV shouldn't have any experience that isn't relevant to the job you're applying for. Your CV shouldn't be cluttered. I can probably suggest a layout for you on screen. And you should be listing the technologies that you use. This is really important because every time you go in CV library and you upload your CV or on LinkedIn, there's going to be a bunch of recruiters searching for keywords such as React or Java, and that will make it easier for them to find you and thus offer you opportunities. Mistake number 3, you've convinced yourself that you don't have any experience. Think about it. What did you do for your dissertation? What did you do for your group projects? A little tip, I actually recorded myself explaining my final project, giving a brief summary of my dissertation. It was like a 5-minute video, and that really helped employers to understand what kind of work I'd been doing just before trying to join them or applying for them. In summary, you should be taking advantage of these projects and dissertations that you wrote during your time at university, because they really serve to give employers a taste of what you're interested in working on, and also what kind of skills you've acquired in university. Mistake number 4, you don't know what you want. Sometimes you're just not sure what you want from a job, and thus you end up dismissing many opportunities too quickly. Make a list of things that you don't want, because it's often easier to find that out rather than what you do want. For example, I knew for a fact that I didn't want to be a software engineer in test or a front-end developer, so I didn't waste my time applying for that kind of position, and rather tailored my CV and everything that I used to market myself towards back-end engineering roles. However, it's really important to note that you shouldn't just have tunnel vision, you should also have a backup plan. For example, even though I applied for back-end engineering roles and I was sure that I didn't want to do solely front-end web development, I also ended up applying for some full-stack positions. Now, for mistake number 5, you don't have a portfolio of projects. Your portfolio doesn't need to have a bunch of projects. It can just consist of a really good one. Make sure your portfolio is as accessible to employers as possible. Also, make sure to use other resources like GitHub, LinkedIn, or your own website to host all of these projects. Ideally, you should make them interactive, or at least have some sort of video, so that the employer is easily able to gauge what sorts of things you're working on. Finally, for some closing thoughts, you should always apply for a job that is right for you. when you're interviewing, make sure you ask questions like, what do you guys like about your current role? What do you like about the company? All those sorts of questions, so that you can gauge what sort of company it is and whether you're going to be happy there. I hope this video helps you guys find a job easily. I'll be posting more content like this and trying to help you guys out with any questions you might have.